In a world where every journey depended on muscle and reins, humanity dared to dream of movement without horses. A wild, almost forbidden thought. Picture the cobblestone streets of the 18th century, the clatter of hooves, the creak of wooden wheels, the air thick with the scent of sweat and smoke. People had always relied on beasts to carry their burdens, but a few restless minds began to wonder, what if fire itself could pull the cart? What if steam could replace the strength of a stallion? In the workshops of Europe, inventors toyed with the impossible. Iron pipes hissed, gears trembled, and pressure built until steam roared like a living creature. Among those dreamers stood a French engineer named Nicolas Joseph Cugnot. In 1769, he unveiled something no one had ever seen before, a massive, lumbering machine called the fardier à vapeur. It was ugly, loud, and unstable, but it moved by itself. No horses, no ropes, just fire, metal, and willpower. The crowd watched in disbelief as it hissed forward, puffing clouds of vapor into the air. A creature of smoke crawling out of the industrial age. Slow, yes. Awkward, absolutely. But as those heavy wheels rolled for the first time under their own power, something shifted in human history. The age of steam had whispered a secret, that movement could be born from machines, not muscles. And somewhere, in the rumble of that clanking contraption, a new kind of dream began to take shape. The dawn of the 19th century brought with it a restless hunger for innovation, and a single spark would soon ignite that hunger into flame. In a quiet Swiss workshop, François-Isaac de Rivaz was staring at a strange contraption of metal and pipes. He wasn't chasing elegance or beauty. He was chasing power. His idea was bold, even reckless for its time. To trap an explosion, tame it, and turn it into motion. Instead of steam hissing from a boiler, Rivaz wanted fire caged inside a chamber, fueled by hydrogen and sparked into life by electricity. When he pulled the lever, the silence shattered. A burst of gas ignited, the engine coughed, and for a brief, trembling moment, it came alive. It wasn't smooth, it wasn't reliable, but it was something entirely new. The combustion engine had spoken for the first time, whispering a promise of speed and freedom that steam could never deliver. Rivaz had unknowingly planted a seed that would grow into the mechanical heart of the modern world. Around Europe, other inventors caught the scent of progress. Gasoline, petroleum, the chemistry of motion was evolving, and experiments multiplied in hidden workshops. Every explosion, every spark brought the dream closer to reality. The dream of a machine that could truly travel far, fast, and free. By the 1880s, France had become the beating heart of mechanical ambition, a land where the hiss of steam was being replaced by the pulse of liquid fire. In workshops lit by flickering lamps, inventors worked with oil-stained hands and sleepless eyes, determined to perfect what others still called a fantasy. Among them was Edouard Delamare de Batteville, a man who refused to see the automobile as a mere curiosity. He envisioned a machine born for the road, powered not by vapor, but by fuel, precise, efficient, and alive with controlled explosions. His creation was nothing short of audacious. A car driven by liquid fuel, equipped with electrical ignition, a transmission system, and even a differential, concepts that would become the backbone of modern automobiles. When the engine came to life, It wasn't just a machine moving. It was an idea evolving. The world had taken a decisive step away from steam's heavy rhythm and into a new, sharper tempo. Across France, inventors began competing like alchemists, chasing the same dream: to turn fire into motion, metal into freedom. The air was thick with smoke, oil, and the scent of revolution. And as these machines roared to life on dusty roads, one truth became impossible to ignore. The race to perfect the automobile had begun. In the year 1886, a man named Karl Benz took a step that would forever alter the rhythm of human progress. While others had tinkered, modified, and adapted, Benz did something different. He built from nothing. His creation, the Benz Patent-Motorwagen, wasn't a carriage stripped of its horses. It was a new species of machine, born with purpose. 3 thin wheels carried its skeletal frame. A single-cylinder engine pulsed like a heart. And every bolt, belt, and gear had been designed to serve one destiny: motion without constraint. When the motorwagen first sputtered to life, its engine coughed, spat, and then purred, a mechanical heartbeat echoing through the dawn of modernity. The people who saw it were divided between awe and disbelief. Some laughed, others stared in silence, realizing they were witnessing the birth of something bigger than invention. The birth of mobility itself. But it wasn't Karl who proved its worth. That honor belonged to his wife, Bertha Benz. In 1888, without warning her husband, Bertha took the motorwagen and drove over 60 miles across Germany. Dirt roads, steep hills, curious crowds, nothing stopped her. Along the way, she made history's first refueling stop, its first roadside repair, and its first public demonstration of endurance. When she returned, covered in dust and triumph, she hadn't just completed a journey. She had shown the world that the automobile wasn't a toy. It was the beginning of a revolution, one that was only just starting to accelerate. The world would never move the same way again. Karl Benz's invention didn't just change transportation. It redefined civilization itself. The quiet streets of the 19th century began to hum with a new sound. The growl of engines, the rhythm of progress. Horses and carriages gave way to machines of steel and fire, and cities felt the pulse of a new heartbeat. Roads were widened, bridges reinforced, and fuel stations rose like waypoints of a new religion: the worship of motion. Humanity had discovered speed, and once it tasted it, there was no going back. Governments scrambled to invent new rules for a world suddenly in motion. Traffic laws, signals, driver's licenses, ideas that had never existed became essential overnight. Factories sprouted like mechanical gardens, pouring out engines, tires, and dreams of freedom. The automobile wasn't just a machine anymore. It was a symbol of status, of ambition, of the endless horizon waiting just beyond the bend. With every turn of the wheel, distance began to shrink, and time itself seemed to bend. The world grew smaller, cities closer, hearts more restless. The car became a mirror of its creator's vision: power, independence, and the relentless drive to move forward. And as its roar echoed through the 20th century, one question lingered in the air, louder than any engine. If machines could carry us anywhere, where would we go next?